So it's like you're first.
Well, I just come up to bring up today on some of the things we're doing. They did this in about a month. Didn't realize it'd been that long, but these are the roads and stuff we're gonna overlay this year. Ditch work and whatnot. We've already started doing some hot patching. As you can tell, we're a little bit, if you've been down on Emerson or, yeah, the white spot. But as they go down, the trouble of it is, the rocks are dry right now. It's just hard to stay in the hole. So I think it's some of the.
Where's Baldy?
That's what I was going to ask.
I didn't even know we had a Baldy already.
It's in front of David Salem's. It's up 3 miles.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I thought maybe you'd spotted the tree.
No. So, we got coal put in across the South Stafford Road. We've been having a problem with it sinking. It's just a mile north of County line, so we'll cut the blacktop and get it to the end here. And do all this stuff now so we can get through the freeze-thaw cycle and takes that settle on the white. When we put the asphalt on, we don't, well, like right after, like, you can see, but
Yeah.
that's why it didn't, and it didn't settle, so, anymore after
That's why
we
Maze,
initially.
isn't it, where you're talking? Where it's settled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so. And then, got a wooden culvert down there in, it's in York Township. We wouldn't looked at it last time. That thing.
You're east of the Stafford Road.
It needs to be replaced, and looking at it, either giving a half tank, which has a steel floor in it, or maybe the only other option is putting 2 or 3 pipes in there, which is, I think the half tank would be a better option, and that's kind of what the engineer guys thought. And I'll get a price on that and bring it up here before we pursue it. But there's really nothing to compare it to other than the 1-2 bay, aluminum box type deal like right up there once you get a price. Those are all the cost percentages.
You have to have something to handle the volume of water.
Yeah,
It does.
evidently there's a pretty good volume of water
Yeah.
that comes through there, and GC Rundle's been to see probably half a dozen times about it. So, he was afraid we were gonna put a smaller culvert in there. I said, no, we'll put at least the same size. Just try to get the same size square footage of what that little box was. It's not in good shape. It is. So, we got about half the county done on our signing project right now. Part of it, they're having to straighten up some signs. So, yeah, I know, I didn't have to go through that. But I think some of it's frozen ground. Yeah. We did end up having to take it with an auger for the frozen skids. And it's helping speed stuff up, and it's helped with the frozen grounds.
It's not what I know.
Will those fit on city couplers?
Yeah, it's flat face. Universal or universal. Skid loader. Most of them are that way.
No, on the adapter side over here. Okay, I don't know if Cass is different or not.
Yeah.
Usually Caterpillar has their own thing. Nobody else
Yeah. Yeah.
So, already got some sign to get shot up in the northwest corner. They called and told me, says, well, some of your new signs are already shot up. This is up around Seward. He said, one of them was shot, and wasn't very far from it.
Signs can be vicious.
I guess they must not have their shots or something.
They don't move real fast.
The great white hunters have got them. Now, I was checking some 911 signs the other day, and some of them been up. And this is places that somebody's purposely backed
Out
up.
of their way.
Because they were, both of them were by power poles. So we'll have to get around and straighten those out.
Your bid for this overlay, do you think that's gonna be about what you thought, what you projected, or is it?
How much we get to do?
No, the cost of doing this 53 miles.
Well, that's a combination of, we'll seal, I want to seal, I would really like to seal the whole 53 miles, I mean, and based on that figure, whatever the low price comes in, adjust our
Oh, so you
asphalt.
haven't bid the oil price yet?
We get a quote. I mean, there's basically, unfortunately, there's nobody else to bid it. Well,
I didn't know if they gave you a projection, you know, a budget.
No, they'll,
How they
About
came up
the day
with
of.
that. Yeah, the day.
about March, they'll
Oh.
usually give us a price that we lock in for the year.
It's
Unfortunately, there's
no
no,
other way.
it's just, I mean, freight's gonna eat you up for moving Vance
Right.
Brothers out of Kansas City to Mexico's just one. You know what, for you to be
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
It'd just be unreal.
Terrible.
And they've been, I mean, pretty much all the counties. Last year was $2. Right now, with the way the oil price looks, I don't know what that kind of asphalt stock is out there. I would say would be higher, hopefully 10, 15 cents lower. So the less it is, the more we get.
Any conversations with anybody on the Kansas co-op?
John hasn't come down yet to do any site inspection, but as soon as he does, we'll get him to look at that and see what he thinks about it.
He's the KDOT superintendent?
No, John is Kirk
Oh,
Mike,
oh,
he's the
oh,
engineer on the head of our sign project, and he's good about finding this high risk. He's good about doing this high risk
Oh,
roads type stuff. So maybe it can qualify under that. So if that be the case, it probably it would cost us about 10% on high risk roads if we qualify for that. So I mean, I think that option is worth looking at before we use our federal funds exchange for that. Then I did call Don Butler down in Wichita Trailer and told him that I'd like for him to start looking for a couple of dumps. We'll see what kind of price he comes in up to. And talked to Dave West about a new truck, or about a used truck, and he said it's probably gonna be about $4,000 higher, which is 81.
It's a different truck.
Yeah, it'd be the last of our dump trucks we have to replace. So
Where did its margin go up?
he said, well, the price of steel's gone up,
Yeah.
so the price of bids have gone up. I'll try to pin it down a little closer. But other than that, that's all. I just want to bring you guys up to date. If you guys have anything.
Quiet out on that front. I haven't heard much about it.
I was just curious, have they started on the cell tower up on 19?
No, I haven't seen any action on that. But I've been pretty much over the west. I haven't been over the east too much other than just checking rates on it.
Isn't that article, was the guy that had the rollover,
Oh, yeah, just went to sleep.
couldn't get a cell coverage?
Well,
One guy just went to sleep.
Yeah.
It is very, very poor.
It is. Even on 281, I mean, from,
19 to the low north of Stockups.
well, it's clear to the county line.
Oh, really?
I mean, even past the county line, you
Yeah.
can get some reception there for a while, even in Clark County.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Carol. Make a motion to approve the minutes from January 8th meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Motion second to approve the minutes, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Anything else you want to do? Carol, got something for us, we're ready.
Okay. Share with you our latest on our housing development. We have plans, specifications.
Looks like my kitchen.
I don't know how much you want to see the floor plans, but obviously they're here. We're ready to move forward with contracting. This is a list of the specifications, of all the materials and some processes of how it should be put together. So we're ready to talk to contractors and solicit bids. and are looking to have a pre-bid meeting for contractors to just go over the project, show them the plans, explain to them what they're looking for in a bid on Friday, the 24th of January, week from Friday, at 11 a.m. And we're reserved the county annex room between the community room and the annex. So obviously, welcome you to be a part of that. If you have any questions or what we'll ask them to do is bid it by phase of construction so that we can kind of see cement versus framing versus plumbing and electric. And they also give us the opportunity to work with the general contractor to utilize a local subcontractor that would submit a bid for that portion of it, kind of compare apples. Be able to compare that way options more effectively. And ultimately, the goal here is to utilize as much local service as we can.
So your bid is just mainly for the general contractor then,
Well, I don't know how else to go about that. I mean,
I
I don't want
don't
to be
know.
the general.
right? You gotta have
So,
somebody.
Neither do
what
we.
So what I've done is I've called, I've made a list of all the contractors I know in the area. You look at, see if I missed anyone. But I've called them personally and either talked with them or left a voice message. And so invited them. Even if they're a subcontractor, I'd like for them to be able to hear what the scope of the project is, what our goals are, and everything from us directly, as opposed to have a grapevine. And I think if we can find a general contractor that we feel comfortable with, we can talk with them about utilizing local subcontractors where practical.
Well, I think that the general contractor, if they have their own electricians and plumbers, then they probably wouldn't sub it. But if whoever gets the bid on general contract, they will, if they don't have that crew, they will sub it out.
Right.
But I think it should be included in the bid price of the general contractor, correct?
Or broke out.
We
Yeah,
have
so-
to break it out, yes.
Yeah. So do they have the specs for the, say for example, the electrical?
Yeah.
I'm seeing all those cam lights and that's what I'm,
It does specify exactly where those lights will go. So it's thorough.
We didn't have a lot of decisions to make with that much. It's pretty cut and dry.
I'm sure that there will be things that will come up inevitably, but that's the idea.
Building projects.
Those aren't
You
that
can't have enough
specific.
pieces of paper.
Most things aren't that specific.
I don't know what order the electricity is in here. I've run through and find it.
I would even talk to him about possibly being the general. It's not that he advertises that he does that, but he's done that for projects for me, and it's worked out pretty well. And it's local, and it can save you money too.
Yeah.
It seems like those are the first people there, and that kind of take control of the situation, and if something's not right, he's kind of the first to know it anyways. So. Instead of having some guy that's gonna take 20% or whatever the percentage of the total bid would be to oversee the project.
It'd be 10% at least.
Yeah. And he would probably do it for knowing what he's.
You've contacted all those people
I have.
individually, so that you know whether or not they're probably interested in coming to bid or not.
Well, not all of them did I actually talk to, so a lot of them I had to leave a message for, but I have called them.
Okay.
surprises me.
He just explained that he's really more situated to do remodels, not ground up.
But even some of the finished work, I thought he would.
Talk to Bill.
I actually haven't run into him in town. He told me then, before I actually started calling, that he was booked through in the summer and not likely to be available, but I did call him. You know, he would come to
He
me,
is.
that'd be great.
Looked out quite a ways there.
What about Willie? Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I think he sounds interesting.
Okay. Didn't see that yet.
No.
You think electricity would be like a big glaring section, but. Oh, you know what, it does have an index, doesn't it?
If none of those guys were interested, that guy that built my mom's house over around Nickerson, he used all local subcontractors. Yeah. I would try those guys you got on the list first, I mean,
Yeah.
rather than have it, because you know it's gonna cost more if you have to drive 40 miles every day to be here. Hi, Scott, this is.
Hi, Scott.
Yep. We do fine, but I do know it's gonna cost a little more, because he'll figure his mileage in there somewhere. But he is one that will take charge of the rest of them, he won't have anything to worry about, because he don't really want you around. He wants to let everybody else know when and where to do it.
Well, while we're looking for that, I guess I could maybe just review what it looks like. It's on a full basement, it's 1,040 square foot per side, and a footprint that with the basement living space, it's 2,080 square feet. So this is the basement, it has a family room, a bathroom, and 2 bedrooms. Mechanical rooms in here too. And on the main floor, it's a very open concept living area, trying to make, good use of small space. Part of the discussion we had with the architect was to be disciplined in keeping the footprint small, to try to keep the costs down. So it's pretty basic. Kitchen, there's a back entry with a laundry area. Master bedroom has its own bath, and so that there was some kind of public bath on the first floor, a small half bath here. And our garage. That's all the concrete specs. Wall detail. I hope it leaves little to, such the idea is that it's pretty prescriptive in what we're trying to do. Tells where the lights are. Specifies things like the cabinet over the toilet and things like that, so. Substantially detailed enough. So we'll have it graded by a for lack of a better term, an energy efficiency specialist, so that it can quantify its energy efficiency, but it does have some things like a whole house on-demand water heaters and things like that that are supposed to add to its efficiency energy-wise. And just the nature of having so much living space in the basement, I think will also add to that having a pretty good rating.
Have you decided what talent's going in?
Maxwell's where I think we're looking to do it first, and then Stafford. But, you know, the grant with the county will really just provide for one. We have a different grant that we'll use to build the second one. And so this one, I think we're applying to Maxwell. The other one, honestly, we have to take contributions with the tax credit, and we have until December 31st next year. I would have liked to have got it finished this year, but we just didn't get that many contributions. We're still working on completing that campaign, so that makes all the more sense to work on this one first. It's 203 South Diggins. It's basically one block south of Highway 50.
Sounds spread out.
Right.
Can't see again, this one, I thought it was some other. I kind of work together, but that'd be another bid for concrete and concrete
Okay.
work, I guess.
Okay. Very good.
I haven't heard a lot of bid about one you had on your list. The first one you had on your list there, there's not a lot. I've heard of some
Talk to Lawrence Gillespie. Yeah, talk to Lawrence Gillespie about this.
But that's a personal, that's a personal
Just go
opinion.
look at his house.
I was at it, I mean, it's obviously not a strictly Stafford County
Right.
contractor, but it was somebody that another person you
Right.
put up with. So
Yes, well,
whatever.
that's fine.
When I call
That was
him,
a
we'll
personal
find out.
opinion, so.
And he might be a little cheaper too. That, the one you have on your list might be a little cheaper, but
Oh,
There's a reason.
go look at Lawrence's house.
I want to make sure, what I've done is called them directly, and we'll put something in the newspaper for next week. So it's not 30 days of advance notice of intent to bid. Is that, are we okay with that?
You've notified them. A lot of them anyway. I'm okay with that.
So on the 24th is just the preliminary.
It's a pre-bid meeting.
Right.
With the actual bids due at some time following that, which, I don't know, I haven't published it. I mean, we could take that, I guess I can use, take your
30
feedback.
days from that date.
30
I mean,
days from that
our
date.
policy is 30, isn't it?
30 days.
Our bid policy?
I think so.
Okay.
Is that what was,
Or 30 days of notice before the bid, no? Is it before the bids are due or before you actually open up bids? That's just what I printed off.
I would think it'd be 30 days after the preliminary hearing.
Okay. We can pick it up.
Because if you want to get started on this.
And
then-
of course, I'm anxious to get started, but
So, you're looking.
March.
if they're available to start work
Right.
Yeah, that's
at that
in-
time.
Yeah.
they-
Well, I was thinking about the weather.
Winter's always nice, it's like-
Right.
Always
I
what?
said the weather's always nice.
Don't you call me tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was reading that report where they did soil temperatures out west and here, and 2 inches and 4 inches.
So froze down a foot.
According to this, it's just whatever you specify. The competitive sealed bidding process calls for public openings on the date and at the time and place designated in the specification.
Okay.
So that's kind of an open bid.
So do you want to open them? I receive them and then we bring them here to the commission meeting and open them? Is that procedure? So I should make them due on a Monday and, or Tuesday or something like that, or Wednesday morning?
Or usually Tuesday, before we do that.
Okay.
The notice of bid letting shall be published in the official town newspaper and published 30 days before the scheduled bid letting.
That's how I thought.
Yeah, that's where we got that. So I'd say 30 days.
Okay. Very good. I can shift gears to something else entirely. At one point, you all had shared with me the feasibility study for the airport and kind of approached the subject of economic development wise, whether this might be something beneficial. I've done some research into some things that I thought might be worth considering. There is a legal capacity in Kansas, in KSA 1234 to establish a port authority. And you'll pardon me reading and define it better than I can paraphrase it. A port means a water port facility, airport facility, terminal facility, land transportation facility, railroad facility, or industrial use facility. So it's not just, I mean, you hear the word port, but you think water, but it's not. Its purpose, I think, really gets into what I think might be really complementary with economic development. It's the purpose of this act to promote, stimulate, and develop the general welfare, economic development, and prosperity of the state of Kansas by fostering the growth of interstate and interstate commerce within the state, to promote the advancement and retention of ports within the state, to encourage and assist in the location of new business and industry in the state, and the expansion, relocation, and retention of existing business and industry. When doing so, will help maintain existing levels of commerce within the state or increase the movement of commodities, goods, and products produced, manufactured, or grown within or without the state through existing ports. And to promote the economic stability of the state by maintaining and providing employment opportunities. So I think it's all very, again, kind of complementary with what our purpose in economic development is. One thing is that you do have to have the ratification of the state legislature. No port shall be created without the approval of the legislature by concurrent resolution. So the window of opportunity is now or a whole year from now. The kinds of things that a port can do: purchase, acquire, construct, reconstruct, improve, equip, furnish, maintain, repair, enlarge, own, sell, lease, and operate docks, warehouses, airport facilities, terminal facilities, land transportation facilities, railroad facilities, industrial use facilities within its jurisdiction. So I perceive it to be largely an industrial park, kind of centered on that strategic advantage of transportation. It can apply for, receive, and participate in grants from the state of Kansas or from the United States. bonds to an industrial development. I don't know if this is something that, you know, as you look at possibilities of you know, airport development, you know, again, I think maybe see some ways that we could leverage that into some more industrial development. And I think the question I think becomes, why would you do a port as opposed to just doing it through the county, as in like issuing industrial revenue bonds or whatever. And I think my perception is that when you do an industrial revenue bond, you've really kind of got an agreement with one business on their land, really limited availability to expand upon that with future businesses. If we had more of that port, then you've kind of got kind of an industrial park that you can recruit against for multiple things going into the future is the way I would perceive it. So if you are interested in taking a look, you know, we can have an attorney kind of give you more thorough overview of exactly what, I think it is a specialized area. You know, we have counsel here, and of course it's not here today, but even at that, I perceive it to be a pretty specialized area of law. There's not a lot of them in the state. I did make an initial inquiry to feel more involved, just to kind of get my own better feel of it, and he's willing to come out and give you all a more precise overview of it without charging. By way of background, they are a law firm that specializes in public revenue, or, you know, public finance. We do a lot of the legal work with various municipal bonds around the state. So was a place I checked into, thinking they work generally in this field somewhat. So we could get a feel for what would be involved, pros and cons, costs. You know, I didn't get a feel from yesterday whether this would be, you know, on the low end or the high end as far as legal fees would be. But, you know, I just want to kind of get an idea of if you're open to looking further into it.
I think it's a step. I mean, obviously you see what we're doing is not real proactive, so, I mean, that don't hurt to discuss it, in my opinion. Typically, in my mind, I think you would have a general direction to, you know, to get to that point, and we don't have that, but maybe there's possibilities.
Right. One of the things I had asked him was whether you have to have your land, for example, identified when you do this, or, you know, which is first, the chicken and the egg. Do you have the land and then you develop the port, or do you develop the port, which then in turn can identify land? And you do have to have the port first and have a board of directors, and then you proceed on to the development phase. And it does require that, I mean, you need to kind of, I think, have a general plan to begin with, but at the point that you move into actually acquiring the land, the board of directors of the Port Authority shall prepare or cause to be prepared plans for the future development, construction, improvement, and utilization of ports within this jurisdiction. And this is a formal public process that allows for public input and public notice and publication.
We'd be stepping on the toes of the guys that work, or a group over at Stafford that's already kind of investigating that for the city, or?
I don't think they're well, I think they're not looking at a port though, right? They're just trying to do airport, right? This could be, my understanding is that could fold into this.
It could be together.
In fact, I think that's part of the strategic approach to it. Is that you're,
Definitely ought to be presented to them though, too.
Well, I think this kind of port authority would also fall into what the discussion was with the city of Stafford, or was forming an airport authority.
Yes.
I mean, so you're being a little more descriptive as this port authority.
this would be more broad,
Broad.
that would be specific
Right.
to one piece of transportation. This would be more broad to include,
Multiple or.
Rail.
Yeah, because I perceive this to be the county. You know, and I think we've got a couple of things going for us. One is the main line of BNSF. The other thing is the 281 and Highway 50. I think, you know, personally, I think we should, you know, get more information, and then the more we know, the better we can make a decision on whether this is going to be a feasible thing or not. But I think the Port Authority is probably the better way to go, rather than doing a joint venture with the city. And I really don't think that the airport, I don't think the funds are going to be there. Personally, I don't think by next year or the year after that this giant bucket of money is going to fall, and I think we'll go out, you know, I noticed up by Hillsborough, that the grain handling facility, the co-op is putting money in. And they're along the track, I don't know what.
Mid-Kansas Co-op.
Yes. And it's gonna be a grain handling facility, but they're doing that all on their own.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going with that.
Right.
If you had a person like that makes an investment, great, that's one investment.
Mhm.
But you have limited ability to utilize that track and investment for future opportunities, say intermodal. Say we did have somebody like that come in
Right.
here. They've got the track, they own it. We'd have limited ability, other than, you know, power of personal persuasion, to go in and say, hey, we've got this asset here. Let's recruit against that to develop some type of loading facility for the intermodal things that would include things like telecommunications people coming out of Poisonton, to dog food, you know, out of Great Bend, to, you know, any other just thing that's, we'd have very limited ability to work with that asset, I think, if it's owned privately. And that's, I think, the strategic thinking behind putting that in a port, leasing it, you know, kind of like leasing warehouse space in a traditional ocean port or whatever, but you're leasing parts of it to tenants. That, you know, and it's, I think, generally run revenue neutral to taxpayers. So the fees that are being collected for the leases should offset the costs of operation and bonding. And
I would be in favor of hearing what the representative from Gilmore and Bell has to say. I mean, it's not gonna hurt.
No.
It'd be good. At least it's the first step. That way we know more about it, you know more about it.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Are you interested in doing that? I mean, I'm aware that if we want to try to do this within this legislative session, we just have to start on it.
Right.
I don't think a concurrent resolution should be controversial. I should be surprised, I suppose, but I don't know why it would be. But still, there's a calendar that you have to adhere to, which I don't know, this is maybe March.
But you can actually find out money-wise. I mean, we didn't budget for that.
Okay.
We have no clue what it's gonna cost.
Right.
Even the other, you have no budget room for that, I'm just telling you that right now for this year.
Okay. Do you have a budget for legal expenses at all?
Yeah, we have some built into county general, but not a huge big amount.
Yeah,
I mean, Joe pretty well eats that up with his appeals and stuff like that, so,
okay.
I mean,
Well, I mean, if we visit with this guy, he could give us some idea of what the
I would think,
expenses might
exactly.
might
Right.
be in.
I mean, he even kind of said,
If
I
it
don't know if this
works.
is gonna be a $5,000
Right.
project that you guys can say, okay, well, it's not too much
Sure.
risk, well, we can do that versus 25,000, we may wanna
that would
think
be a
twice.
problem.
Yeah.
It's always a problem.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
No,
for
I
this budget
understand.
year,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's not push it.
But what I'm
forward.
saying
Get it
is,
done by
you know,
March.
at least we can put our toe in the water and find out what,
The sharks are
yeah. Or where there's a pot of gold.
there.
there.
Right.
right, okay. So then I will look to try to schedule that.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
well, thank you.
Thank you.
That's now the boys are scheduled
They're
for
scheduled
now.
Or they,
Are they out there?
Yes.
okay. Rob? Tom?
I make a motion we exclude fire.
Yeah. Morning. You have lunch. Good morning.
Morning. Am I Gold Star material there?
No.
I'm still Silver Star?
Still messed up yesterday.
Oh.
I forgot.
I know, she called me about it, I told her about you.
Also,
I didn't have it, so.
Yeah, because he left and I had to go.
you're part of this, what do you just, I don't exactly, I always.
Lord Master.
I needed the key.
I got it back.
I didn't
never
have
saw
your, I
you.
now I have your cell phone number, yes, you are, so.
That's the story of my life. All right. Well, we had our annual FRA meeting Monday night, and I'm just gonna give you guys kind of an update on where we're at. 2010, when we took over, see the top line there. Our beginning balance in the checkbook was $14,902.11, and our CD balance was $21,000. And at the time was, at that time, we did not have an annuity. As of today, and this was as of Monday night, because our financial statement was approved by the state, we have $39,680.07 in the checkbook. We have a CD balance in St. John National for $7,472, and annuity balance of $30,651.27. This would be, I believe we told you in October when we received notification from the EC agency. That boosted our FRA back up. So we took half of it for what we have, and what we have of the $39,000, we're going to take a good chunk of it and roll it back over into our annuities and still keep our CD balance and still keep a good amount of money in our checkbook in case we do have something major go on. So,
For 10,000 to annuities, another 8,000 in a CD. Just to have in case something happens, so we can, even though we can pay an early penalty on it, but we're putting as much as we can in annuity, because 1% from CD, and we do 3 something.
3.2 or something like that on our annuities. So
So,
we got a really good annuity program right now. So, but I thought you guys would like to know that that's where we sit, and after a long, hard battle since 2010, we're back on the men's and in good shape with the state.
on board with the with the county attorney, it's finally sending letters, we finally got that, after the last go around, finally got the 22,000 back, except for a few thousand that were being cashed in years previously.
This here is a rundown. Davin created this. This is just what we had for calls last year. Total calls were 73 for the fire department, which was actually a pretty slow year for us. So I think the year before we ran like 125, 135. So it was kind of nice to actually keep things in order and in working condition for the most part. Out there is just a breakdown of what type of calls we have. Just so you guys are aware, we're looking at kind of tweaking this because
you know, Dab and I got talking, especially with the, and just for instance, my station at Hudson, I know we made more than 12 fire runs this last year, but that was just 12 fire runs where we were the primary unit. So we're trying to get it to where in our emergency reporting where we can, reports in both it's primary or secondary.
Max go to 4, I know.
And Rob, I know Rob had more than 4 units, so.
You can say St. John and that's good work.
So, and this is the Ford pickup that we're going to turn into the fire truck. This is a bid from Sunflower Trailer Sales for a flatbed and for a grill guard. The installation and everything installed, total on it be $2,720. And that would be with Bruce doing that at Sunflower Trailer Sales. We talked about just putting the bed on by ourselves, and Bruce kind of steered us away from that. He said because some fire departments have done that and had to come back and have some bracing made. So
He's
it's just
show up to his shop to be fixed and put on, so they don't slide off the side.
do it right the first time. So, and this fire truck ultimately will be one that means that we're just going with a regular flatbed unit. This will be one we're going to have to walk beside and work off of. It's going to be, being honest with you, be a pretty good training trip for new firefighters, getting a really good idea how to work a fire by hand. But Marshall Sanders is also designing a remote monitor to put on the front of this. It's going to be very, very minimal cost to the county. And if we can do that, then we're probably going to see a few more of those on trucks. So,
And what's a remote monitor?
basically, it'll be just a fire nozzle on the front of it. Runs with actuators and everything, pump water to it, so you can actually drive.
Oh.
Like your
Yeah.
boom
In
truck.
front of where you're
Yeah.
driving.
It'll be the same principle.
Same principle.
You can either run off toggle switch or a joystick.
Marshall kind of told me he thought with what you have wound up in it would be no more than $200, if that. So that was figuring on the high side.
So we need a motion for this flatbed and grill guard. I make the motion that we approve $2,720 from Sunflower Trailer Sales for a flatbed and grill guard to be installed on the Ford pickup.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the grill guard and flatbed on the Ford pickup for $2,720. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Okay.
Now, bad news.
Now the bad news.
Forewarned you to that.
Yeah. And trust me, when I got this phone call the other day, Lord knows my wife loves me dearly, but she was the one that called me and broke the news to me. I do have an estimate for the repair on the money pit. It has definitely been, it has been renamed. To completely rebuild the engine, and it needs completely rebuilt. All 6 cylinders are shot, camshaft, crankshaft, everything. To completely rebuild the engine and include the 2-year warranty is $26,000.
Oh, wow.
$26,030.56. Now, we brought Dab along with us today. We have got a couple other options.
Because we don't want to take
No, we've already paid.
Is this because it was not used prior to us receiving this?
I can't say yes, I can't say no.
Or is it a bad engine?
I don't know if we just got a bad engine. Because everything else that we have,
Has there been any communication back to the Forestry Service to see what they've said? I mean, have they had problems with it before?
The only problems that they've actually had is sometimes when the engines are rebuilt, the military put, in a select number of them, they put us too small to sleeve. And those sleeves then, when they got hot, stuck to that piston and the piston moved the sleeves.
that was one difference.
They're, as far as repairs on
I
it,
found something, I think.
we're just hoping not before us.
So, we've already got a tow bill on it, which is, we'll take care of, that won't be a problem. But, we do have a couple other options. I'll let Davin kind of speak here, because we called Davin and told Davin to get on the horn and start making some phone calls.
I talked to Eric up at Forestry. They're willing to replace the truck for us. But the problems with that is there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to own the truck just like this one. There's a 4-month wait period. They said they may be able to move us up a little bit on that, but there's no guarantees on it.
But they take it as it sits today.
They'll take that truck as it is. There's no cost to us to send that truck back.
And then you send it back to blow that letter.
Yeah. The only time that there's gonna be a cost is if they deem that it was major negligence on our part to split what caused the engine problem, like if we had changed oil for 15 years or something like that, but they said it didn't have the truck long enough to have that. Correct. The other options, I've been in contact with Jim Cutright with military surplus. He has put out a request for an engine for that truck, but hasn't got any hits on it yet. He's put it out worldwide, depending on where he finds one, will depend the cost. If he can find one in the surrounding states, you're looking at anywhere from $900 up to $2,500 for the engine. But he's come up short right now. The other thing is surplus does have 5 trucks sitting up there, which is where we bought the truck for Stafford and Hudson. They've been redone, engines rebuilt, transmissions rebuilt, undercoated, new tires, everything like that. Still the same price tag of $5,000. So, and there is, talking with forestry, there is no serial number on the bed. So if we got one of the other trucks, we could actually just lift that bed straight up off, swap beds, and send it back.
Take all of our expensive equipment.
Those other trucks that we have that are similar to this one, I mean, you don't have no engine problems with those. do you?
We haven't.
I haven't had any engine problems. I'm having little minor air leak problems with mine, which is
Right.
a
Have
common
you drove
thing.
it the same?
Had they
Oh,
been
yeah.
rebuilt?
Yeah, they've all of them have been rebuilt.
Well, ours is a
Same guy
forestry.
rebuilding.
My truck is
His is a Forester truck.
Okay, okay.
but it's a different size motor.
I mean, when you say rebuild, who rebuilds it?
Military.
So you don't know what you're getting.
You don't. You're taking a 50-50 shot. Or you'd either be back in the same boat with Forestry Service, or we could own the truck and deal with it ourselves.
One of the other advantages to the surplus trucks is they are out of Kansas. They came from the Kansas National Guard in Topeka. They drove them just a few blocks to the surplus building. And the Kansas National Guard in Topeka is the one that did the rebuilds on the engine and the transmissions.
That's where the big motor pool is, the stations up there, so.
Through forestry, the trucks can come anywhere. South Carolina, anywhere you can
And
think of.
I'd almost bet Domino's Space was here that we didn't get a Kansas truck, so. But, you know, with the other Forestry Service truck that Rob's got, we're not having any problems with it. And it's got a turbo motor on it, and no problems.
This one's non-turbo, right?
Yeah, this one's non-turbo, mine's non-turbo, and Jerry's is non-turbo. And Jerry is in the process of building his now, so,
Getting tanked this week.
yeah.
That's the other thing, is the trucks up at surplus, 3 of them are the M39A1s, which have the NHC 250 engine, just like the truck that we currently have. 2 of them are the M39A2s, which have the turbo engine in them, just like Maxwell's truck does.
So we have our pick if we want to buy one. And I'm obviously not wanting to pay $26,000 to rebuild a motor. I mean, yeah, 2-year warranty is nice, but no, we don't own the truck. It's a Forestry Service truck. And we've already spent $6,000 on this truck last year.
That's just motor work. That's not including all the work for the bed and everything else and getting it fire ready.
Like the chiefs and I kind of discussed Monday night, is, you know, we spent $6,000 on this truck down there shortly before the end of the year. Why didn't that business, everything was apart, why didn't they check everything that was in? And we finally caused the problem. Talking with the mechanic himself, that is an injector issue, that it was dumping too much fuel and it's worked everything. So,
And this is the one we have the water tank on? The engine, the one that's, the engine's no good, is that the white one?
It's the big
The
one.
first
Yeah.
one they got.
it's the first one we got.
And is that the one that they put the water tank on, or is it another one? I'm confused.
Okay, there's one
This one
There-
we
there's
just swapped
three
heads,
buildings.
right?
in Stafford,
Yeah.
the building.
Yeah, the one that we purchased the tank for before the first of the year,
Mm-hmm.
it's not in service yet. Jerry
Oh, okay.
Jerry
They're
Sanders'
building
building,
over in
yeah.
Stafford, so
Okay.
they're-
This is the first one they just swapped.
This is the very
heads.
first one, yeah.
Swapped heads and bids.
Sure.
No, they made this one.
We made this bid.
Oh, you made
The
this.
second
Ours,
one matched those.
Oh.
That's the reason we're able to get it service in a week and a half.
Yeah, I got paper locked. But apparently we're not the only ones in a boat like that. My wife said that was not the highest estimate she sent out that day, so. But it wasn't for a fire truck, it was for another motor.
So what, is this a Peterbilt engine or
It's a Cummins,
a Cummins?
yeah. So,
The idea of putting more money into something.
Well, you don't know.
Yeah, we don't own it,
We
so-
don't own it.
But is what scares me is buying a $5,000 truck, a year later, having a $26,000 bill when we do
Yeah.
own it. I mean,
I know it's a,
If you trade for another one,
I
just.
mean, it's
like
almost
you-
worth spending
you just flip a coin.
40,000 up front for
And buying a-
a newer truck and knowing what you got.
yeah.
I don't know, I'm just brainstorming out loud.
We are completely open to suggestions here because we're just completely floored.
If we do buy one outright, we can take this bed off that we've done, the tank and all the fittings, and just take the other one off, just put it on and then send it back with a different bed, which is no problem with the forestry service.
Yeah, because the beds aren't serial numbered at all, so the only thing the serial number is the actual truck, so.
There's several thousands of dollars wrapped up.
Between wiring and bed and all that stuff, so. What is your suggestion, Joe?
I don't know. I mean, I was first thought when we were buying these trucks, I thought that was a good idea. But, you know, now I'm even second guessing.
Well, the trucks that we have bought, we haven't had any problems with.
Right.
It's been
It's the one that we don't own.
It's the ones we don't,
Right.
it's the one we don't own,
Yeah.
yeah. It's, we've made only major problems. There's been no major issues with the other trucks yet.
Can you do any background checking on who actually rebuilt them and whether you, if you got another forestry truck, whether you'd have the same guy that's done them all or,
I don't think with forestry, there's any way to actually track that.
well,
With surplus, they said there is, because they know where they were rebuilt.
I wouldn't go back to flip a coin and have them just get another, try another one, a forestry truck. Probably have the same issue.
I really hate putting money into something we don't.
Well,
own.
this whole forestry deal, I just assume own the truck ourselves.
Yeah.
That way, if you had to put them in, you know.
We're putting into something
you're
that we're
putting
gonna
into
keep.
Yeah.
That you have.
I mean, the last set of forestry trucks that we've had since, I think mine was a '66 Kaiser that I got rid of to replace, so. And I know it came in probably the late '80s, so. I've seen a lot of hard miles. But I'm like you, and Rob, I don't see the point of dumping money into something that we do not own and taking a risk. But yeah, with a $5,000 truck, what's gonna happen next year?
Or it may run for 20 years.
Maybe after 20 years, and all we have to do is take it and service it, and then be fine. So,
That's why it'd be nice to have some background information if you can't get it.
I can see if we can.
Well, if it comes from surplus, then there should be some history on it.
Right. Surplus can give us the
Yeah,
history.
yeah, that's
Forestry, they don't really care. They just get the trucks, go through them real quick, and we're gonna ship them out.
Because, oh, you're getting it free, just don't get it.
Yeah, it's kind of a turn and burn, fly-by-night service almost.
So
Years ago,
surplus
it
has
used to be good.
two,
They've got 5 total, 2
Five.
PA2s and 3 PA1s.
so does that mean two of them are turbos and the others are not, or?
Yeah.
So what, is it better to have a turbo, or?
I like our turbo
I
truck,
think it
but
would be. So
I
can
agree.
you, on the two that have turbos, can you find some history on them and then make a decision and.
The history that we found on them was they were rebuilt July of 2010 at the Kansas National Guard there in Topeka by their mechanics unit. As far as what actual individual that mechanics unit, I don't know.
Parts they put in it, or?
Yeah, I don't think they can get at that, but they went through and completely rebuilt the engine and the transmission, undercoated the truck, everything, July of 2010. And when they do that, come to find out, when we got this truck in, we thought that we were getting a good deal because it had low miles, low hours.
Yeah.
When they do the rebuild, they reset that. So those were the miles and hours
It was on the
since,
engine.
since the rebuild.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a long ways from here to Afghanistan.
It is a long way.
This is,
Literally.
I would say forget the forestry truck. I'd be more inclined to purchasing a truck for $5,000 and gambling.
it's kind of what we're thinking too. And speaking with,
And if you can pull the bed off and do all of that.
take a little work, but I think we can, maybe it'll get transferred in one piece, so have some equipment that are, it's at our disposal, like I'll call it a few pavers and get that done. So, between county shop and everything else, I think we get it done pretty quick.
That's what we pulled the other ones off.
Was
The crane
crane, so,
lifted it up and put it back on and mounted it back on.
so, I think we can work with Phil and get that done, so.
Can you go up? Well, you can go up and look at them, kick the tires and all that.
Yep, it's true.
It's a truck.
We'll find us a mechanic to take with us.
It's green. The brown spots.
Yeah, sure. Mine's still green with brown and black spots, so. I like my camouflage truck, but so you told me I did have to paint it, so I fulfilled his wishes. I've got the paint, I just haven't painted it.
That is the other thing between forestry and surplus. Surplus, we don't have to deal with all the rules and regulations. Forestry, there's a list of.
I'm in
rules and
favor,
regulations.
if we can spend $5,000 and wash our hands of that forestry deal and be done with it.
We'll pay what we've got for, a tow bill and a diagnostic to Dan's off and get in contact with them and see what's gonna be for just the diagnostics. We've already had the tow bill, so I'll see what's gonna be for the diagnostic. We'll just go.
So is this a hard top cab or a rag top?
Surplus is soft top. We have to put a hard top on it. We picked our hard tops up from a guy in Salina that does, he buys a bunch of the military trucks and basically parts them out. And I think we got hard tops for both Maxwell, or both Stafford and Hudson's truck for like $200, $300 a piece, I think.
And surplus is hard tops?
Surplus piece on top.
Forester service would be.
Surplus is soft top. Forestry puts hard tops on before they send them.
So we'd have that.
$200.
We'd have that expense
Just
too.
mold it up like we have the rest of it. So that's how you mold it.
I'll make a motion, we go ahead and purchase the surplus truck for $5,000 and take our chances.
Don't put that in.
No,
Don't raise it.
And send the forestry truck back.
send it back home. Where it belongs. Can you take, is it good tires on it?
We'll take care of that.
Before he goes back, we're gonna get what we can out of it.
Yeah, so we'll,
I'll
pieces,
second
we'll take care of
that.
that.
Okay, we have a motion and second to purchase the truck, surplus truck for $5,000 plus a few extra. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Will we be able to purchase that just out of regular, our vehicle funds, or can we purchase that one out of fire reserve, or how can we do that? Because that was something you and I had discussed the other day, and I was a bad deputy / fire chief, and didn't make it
You are
back up
on the
till late
list, so I
yesterday.
shouldn't help you at all
If it's any
today.
consolation, I had a rough
That's-
night.
Is he above me on your list or below?
Barely.
Wow. We're still on.
I was the only one on our list.
I know, I just wondered, if he's still there.
35,000 for vehicles in your regular budget,
Okay, well, let's take that out of regular budget
whatever the voucher says.
then. We will take it out of regular budget and,
Okay, it's good, our budget.
yeah, so we're just kind of, real quick, I'm not gonna pass this. Yeah, no, I'm not, no more bad news, but currently, I'm sitting at firefighters for the county. And this was updated the other night, we're at 66 firefighters for the county, so it's about where we want to be. We've got a couple that have shown interest of either rejoining or, but,
We're not at that 100 and some.
yeah, like we were in 2009.
Is that what we have in-
And all those are on record?
Is that on this list here?
I'll make you a copy. This is what Doug had as on file as of the other night. So,
And since we
They're not-
changed our
If
way
we've got
of-
it in the system, is actually when they're not that list, we can put it in it. Yeah,
And
that's a copy.
so much, we cut our debt off, that was on there.
There'd be 66
Yeah,
on that
there's a whole
list.
bunch on here. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad this FRA is finally resolved.
or are we,
It's only been,
We only have one
Three
small
more years.
account, we're still working on it.
so that's gonna be, Joe's gonna have to do the legwork on it. I mean, we tried. That individual don't want to speak with us about it, and we can be civil about it, so. But we do have our eye on it, that if something happens with that account, we know about it real quick, so,
But we got the big one back that we were really after.
yeah.
We have to thank you for the help, because otherwise we wouldn't have got it.
We would, yeah,
ourselves.
we would not
If
be
we had the
sitting like
KBI
this.
involved and everything on it, we wouldn't have got it, and we did get it, so between a few letters and you filing so many types of letters, they got done.
Appreciate that, because it was just out of the blue, she called, and was like, ooh, hey, who are you, and why are you calling me?
Oh, here's your check. It was in the mail.
wow.
Good. Tahoe should be,
Well, I know Steve Moody did a lot of work.
Steve did, he made a lot of contacts for us with the state and got us wrapped up with John Boyd, which was, at that time, was the guy in charge of the FRA, and Steve and John have known each other for a number of years, and it really paid off. So it was nice having the contacts in high places, so, and he worked with us 100%, so whatever we needed to do to help with, he helped, so.
He couldn't actually do it himself, but he pointed us all in the right direction.
Yeah. All right, Tahoe should be here. All I'm waiting on is an email. I talked to the guy last week, and he said it was in the shop, getting ready to go through it, change out all the stuff in it, get rid of it.
They're gonna check the engine.
That is one thing I will say with the highway patrol, if it comes out of the highway patrol shop, it's top notch. I've had a troop car before, I hadn't been driving one for a year, so. Yeah, it is, they come out in good shape, so.
Because their services, I mean, they're not all the records of their services.
In fact, I think we get a copy of the service records and everything with it, so. Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm more than one.
This is true.
Oh, topic, I guess.
All right.
Thank you,
guys.
Thanks, Rob and Tom show.
See you next month.
Yeah, different records though. That was the driver's side.
Oh,
I knew that was gonna happen.
Black mark.
There we go.
Well, I will be asking you guys for money. So,
Patiently waiting.
okay. Yeah, I didn't forget you this time. Okay, so I go over the end of the year financial report with you guys when you're ready, please. Okay. Total claims that we billed out was 294. Total charges that we billed out, was $217,531.80. Total collections was $135,086.26. Open balance is $82,445.54. The type of accounts, I went ahead and just kind of went through all the accounts. I want to light on these out for you guys. And I've got some notes. I'm going to go over these with you guys. The American Continental, the amount of $82.88 is actually one claim that's out there. It's a secondary insurance. Medicare had already paid on it as primary. American Healthcare Alliance is a brand new charge, about 2 weeks old, for $880, waiting on that for a paper claim. Paper claims actually take a little bit longer to pay than actually electronic claims. Okay. Bad debt, we've turned 16 current accounts over for $11,388.70. Blue Cross Blue Shield, there's 11 primary out there, 8 secondary that make up that amount of $10,927.04. BMI is 1 claim and the amount of $1360. That was a paper claim that was sent on that. Champus is 2 claims that are primary that make up that amount, the $1070. Coventry Healthcare is 1 claim out there for $430. It was a paper claim. Humana is 4 primary that are out there on paper claims to make up the $2840. Medicare, there's 13 primary and with the amount of $9,002. We're back online for Medicare, which I think you will love to hear, Clayton, because we just got $12,000 worth of payments in the last 4 days.
All right.
Okay. Mutual of Omaha, there's 4 that are all secondary. Medicare's paid on all of them, and these are just waiting to be picked up, basically. Preferred Healthcare is 1, there's a primary claim of $530. Progressive Auto has 2 claims out there. That makes the amount of $1015. Self-pay accounts, there are 65 accounts out there in the amount of $27,706.66. These are actually, they're either they don't have insurance or the insurance has paid. Medicare pays 80%, and then 20% is going to be actually or there'll be co-insurance, it'll be patient responsibility, or it'll be a write-off for us. So that's where that's coming from. Shelter insurance is 1 claim out there for $826.85. Sunflower Medicaid, there's 8 primary that are out there, and then there's 5 secondaries, which make up the $8061. United Healthcare is 2 primaries and 1 secondary that make up the $1247.49. United Teacher is a secondary insurance that make up the $270.69 of 2 claims. Veteran Affairs has got 2 primary claims out there to be $1890. And Workman's Comp, there are 3 of them that make up the amount of the $2220. And these all balance that amount to $82,445.54. These are all pending insurance, and they've all been sent. So basically, the only next step is to call these insurance companies and say, you have the claim, what's going on? If we need to. These are actually on here, the aging. So, and like I said, they'll say right here that they've resent. The self-pay accounts, they'll actually have final statements next to them. That's telling you that they're going to go to collections this next month if they do not pay. Like I said, they're all, right here for you. So.
Good.
How do you determine the bad debt ones that quickly?
They get 3 consecutive statements. And if they don't pay, these are people that don't have insurance. Or if they had insurance that insurance is paid and we send them 3 consecutive, then they go to bad debt on the current ones.
And then bad debt will be turned over to the collection.
Yes, I'm going to be you had so many of these things. ARSI, they get turned over into the, and if you'll look through, some of these, they'll have second statement, first statement, final statement on the self-pay, so we're really tracking those. For the third one, it'll go straight over to the collection if we don't get a payment for this month. So we'll have more to turn next month.
So what do you do for the insurance that's owed to pay? I mean, is that turned over as well on the 3rd to the ARSI?
What do you mean?
I mean, if the insurance are slow to pay.
Oh, no. Insurances,
They'll
like
pay.
I said, they'll pay.
Okay.
It's usually, the commercial insurances will take 30 to 60 days to
Yes,
pay.
right.
But yeah, the rest of them are 2 weeks. It depends on it.
Okay.
Electronics are fast. They're very fast to pay. A lot of the Blue Cross Blue Shield that are the electronic ones, they're Medicare's paid, and now these are the secondaries that are getting ready to pick up. And so we have to really watch the Medicare crossovers. And a lot of these secondary insurances are Medicare crossovers that didn't actually make it, or then we caught it and said, okay. So that's why the delay.
What percentage is Medicaid paying?
20% probably. And then we write off 80. And it's
Wow.
crazy. I mean, and it's Sunflower and Medicaid is the same thing now, and they switch names. So it's, you don't look for a lot of people, man.
What about your old accounts?
I was going to ask you, this is I just brought you today on the current stuff. what I plan on doing is, so in February, I'll bring you guys what we build out for January and what we received. And then when you guys want me to bring you do you want it every month also? Would be.
I would just so we're keeping on top of it. I
Right.
don't wanna fall behind like we were.
Mhm.
And, yeah, well, or, I mean, here for a while, I wouldn't mind it, you know, every other month or something like that, just so we see, so we can see what progress we are making or aren't making. See if we need to reevaluate and do something different.
I know with, because it's not only gonna be my data, I've gotta get also the data
Right.
from ARSI.
Right.
We've got $44,000 in ARSI right now, so we've got about 30,000 in back accounts that are there. So I just didn't know when you guys wanted me to present that to you, because bringing all this at the same time may be a little overwhelming to you. So I didn't know if you want me to present that every 2 months and then do the current stuff monthly and
Yeah, whatever you think simplest.
okay. Okay, because I don't want to
I mean, I don't
overwhelm you
want to
guys
sit
by
there
all
with a
means.
stack of papers like that.
Right, right. And that's why I thought this would be simpler. You guys can look.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right there for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
Is there anything on this report that's missing that you guys would like to see, or?
Pretty well covered, I mean.
What else was there? I think the only other thing was, well, besides this, the EMT class started on Monday. Yay, I'm so excited. We had our first class. We have actually 8. We said 12, but some people have dropped because they had got some college classes. So we have 2 for Maxville, 2 for Stafford, and 4 for St. John. But, I mean, I think it's still kind of a decent number. That's all I had for you. Questions that you like me to go?
And how many weeks is that?
It's gonna be until May, so, breaking it down in weeks, I'm thinking,
May.
yeah, it's till May. May 8th, I think, is our last day of class.
Could be 16 weeks.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, that sounds good. Okay, I'll get on your guys' hair.
All right, thanks.
Uh-huh.
Maybe this.
Yep.
That's the salary resolution. The papers back behind are, everybody's broken out. I did not increase you guys as per last week. Is that still? Okay.
So, what we did was an increase of $50 per month.
Right, which for the hourly worked
It's
out to 29 cents an
29
hour. I mean, there's
So-
some rounded there, but, and then like the electives on salary got just a flat 50, because we're not on the pay scale.
So we have 53 people that will be getting pay increases.
I didn't count them. Anybody on the pay scale. Like the part-time sheriff's people are still at 10.
Part-time people didn't do it.
They get 25.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, I didn't go ahead and do that because they're not on the pay scale. They're just a flat $10 an hour, like for the patrol officers that fill in at $10 an hour. Who else?
The breastfeeding, Healthy Start.
Yeah, see, she's got them set at $10 an hour. They're not on the pay scale. And some, I couldn't give them the flat 25 because
Yeah,
what if they don't
part-time.
work? You know, they're just part-time.
Right. And there were 6 of those people, right?
So, yeah, probably. I don't know how
More than
many
that. 1, 2,
patrol officers there are.
3.
There's 2 at health department that are $10 an hour.
County Attorney Clerk.
She's just a secretary of, Ellsworth. She's just a flat.
Right, right.
Yeah. Anybody that wasn't on the pay scale, I really can't do anything with.
Okay.
So, but this figured out to 0.03, basically 0.0375% increase at the $50 based on.
Roughly.
Yeah. And so what we're looking at is a $31,800 increase in salary per year for county employees.
One thought I had was if we do this, not to, for 1 year, do any step increases or any pay increases.
Sure, Robbie.
I
If
mean-
somebody brings a step increase, you don't have to approve it.
Well, I mean, that way it's all up front. We're doing it right here in this one resolution and it's done.
Well, right. That's a cost of living raise.
Well, you can call it whatever you want.
I know, but the step increases are
Well, if you got somebody just starting out.
based on the pay plan, and if
What do you
you've
do?
got,
I mean, we got people we just gave step increases to that we're giving another,
right,
Well, I know that, but what if
you've got,
you got somebody, a new hire, that's just been there a month or two, you might want to give her her first step increase to keep her.
those step increases, when they come through, are totally up
It's
to you
either
guys.
approval or not approval.
Yeah, we can deny it.
Yeah, you don't have to approve them.
okay.
It's just.
I mean-
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I know, but that's,
I mean, we've got people on this pay scale that's been here less than a year, that we gave a step increase to, or 2 steps, and now we're giving them another raise.
I see where you're coming from, but I don't know how to fix it.
Well, I don't either. That's why I say
Yeah.
one general way to bring this to a general, easy way to nip it all in the butt real quick is, we're gonna do this one for now, and it's gonna cost us $31,000 to go, and we're not gonna do any more until we
We
reevaluate
can freeze.
where we're at.
That's totally
I
up to
mean,
you guys.
because
But
$31,000 increase in our budget is gonna kind of throw some things out of kilter for a while.
Well, people have budgeted for
They
it.
have budgeted.
They budgeted for an increase, and those that need step increases have budgeted for that too, but.
I think
It's however you wanna do
98% of
it.
the time you're right, but you're gonna have one exception
I know.
that you hate to make a blanket statement for, that you'd like to maybe change that.
Well, I mean, we kind of went against that earlier when we gave increases too, that to people that hadn't been here the whole,
Yeah, we've been
Maybe
over
you could
for
just
them
leave it
already.
at the, case by case basis. Like I say, those step increases
Well, we
are
could
to
have
you
a
guys.
general statement maybe that this is in lieu of, but I don't think you can just blanket out and say that we'll never get a step.
well, I'm not
increase.
saying, yeah.
No, for a year. I think it's what change.
Yeah, for 1 year.
For this,
For this
for
for this
2014 budget.
This is what we're gonna do for our raises. And then after this budget year's, next budget season,
Well, we could.
But, it's up to the department head.
well, it is
to-
too, that too.
To vouch for their employee, but, it is, and, hey, it's my anniversary day, I get a raise.
Right.
That's what, honestly, that's the way
And that's
it's
the way it
been.
works, and,
Yeah.
and that's not right.
No, it never has been right.
But right now,
But
that's the policy. Hey,
Policy.
I've done 1 year, I get a raise.
Right.
Now, did I do anything
To deserve that?
to deserve that raise? And then I think that's up to the department head to go to bat for that employee, said this individual has been, and he's
Right.
well deserving, rather than saying, well, it's time for Joe's
He's
step
been here a
increase,
year.
he's been
Yeah.
here a year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And,
And that's up
So-
to you guys. They bring their thing in and,
Well, I know, but I've never seen one not voted in favor of.
exactly, I know. So,
And actually, if you look at the step increase, this, whatever it is, 29 cents an hour, on average, is probably what a
Is
step
more than a
increase
step
is. Yeah, it's more
It
than a
would
step
be more than-
increase.
And the people that we are giving the step, by doing it on a dollar figure rather than a percentage, we are kind of helping those that are probably gonna be getting step increases a little more anyway.
That's why I thought of this. I mean,
Yeah. Rather than those that are already at the top end.
because some of them are already maxed out,
most of
Some-
our employees
are
are,
maxed
Yeah.
out.
at least
The
we've
ones
got a
that-
couple of new ones, but
And we've just reevaluated this.
everybody else on at least second floor is maxed. Most of the road guys are maxed,
Right.
so.
We could do that, I mean, that would, department heads would just know for 1 year, we won't bring one in. Make make that part of your motion.
If that's how you feel.
Well, we gotta do one resolution, and then it'd be a motion. It's not part of this resolution.
No, that's two, you're two separate
Right.
issues here, yeah.
But see, there has been times we did not do a cost of living
Right.
because of
Last
We
the
didn't do
revenue.
one last year.
Last year.
And, and it's our call.
Right.
Absolutely.
If we can't afford it, we can't afford it.
And if you don't feel that Joe deserves.
Well, I know,
But
but it
I-
ain't fair to
but-
that employee
Well, I know
when
it's
it comes
not,
to their
but-
anniversary date, because that's what we've always
I know,
done.
but
And he's the first one that gets voted down.
I know.
But here
It's
again,
a tough
I
spot.
don't know, you know, when they come in, when the department head comes in, I have no idea how good of a job this individual's
Yeah.
doing. It's up to the department head to present and,
Maybe we ought to just
And-
question them, or
And the department head should know if they budgeted enough for that step increase. I mean, like I said, most of them do, but know that they have.
Well, I think it's
step
just been a,
increases.
this is what we've always done, this is what, the way it's
Yeah.
always worked, and now all of a sudden,
Welcome staff.
well, I know, but.
You mean
every
you
other county.
I make a motion to adopt
you
resolution.
really want to change something. You really, are you serious?
Okay, now wait a
Several
minute.
things.
Are
I
you,
make a motion to adopt resolution 2014-5.
And that is,
That's the salary.
Salary.
that's a salary increase, okay. I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 2014-5. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Oh,
Would you put in the
Kurt
minutes on
always
that,
with the
that that's everybody increase in
Since you're such
compensation?
an else, I would like some department head inputs on that discussion of this going into effect and their possibly 1 year no step
we
increases.
need to have like a powwow, don't we?
We do.
We tried to do one last year.
Yeah. We ought to do one early in the year or something.
Okay, all right.
Well, we can set a
Okay.
date and do it,
Yeah.
rather than waiting for
Okay.
input.
Speaking of dates, February 5th, are you, that was your legislative day or whatever you mentioned
Yeah.
last week? Is anybody going?
I won't be, I've got to be in that night, I know I can't get that.
What day is that?
That's on
That was on a
Wednesday.
Wednesday. I need to know if we're gonna not have commission meeting that day or,
That's the first Wednesday of February.
I'm not gonna block myself in going to that. All right.
so we'll go ahead and have meeting,
Yeah.
is what I need to know. Okay,
I would like to go,
okay.
but I don't know my schedule. Because I got like 2 meetings in Topeka, and I don't know what dates they are, and I'm hoping that they're within a day or two.
Well, I just needed to know if I'd have 2 here
Yeah.
or, okay.
For meeting people, that'd be a good day, but if we had an issue you really wanted to talk about, I would rather be more flexible to go up there when that issue is being discussed in
Yeah.
a committee hearing or something.
Well, and
That's
the
why-
other thing is,
That's just kind of a publicity deal to take, see how many people show up.
it is.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I've never
We-
been,
we-
and
we
that's
just
what I
want-
was saying, that
Yeah.
would it be worth the time to go?
I mean, it's important to have numbers there, just to say, but in my way of thinking, I would rather not be in the big group, I'd rather talk to
Okay. Well, the other
people
thing, it doesn't-
individually, or go to the committee
Yeah.
meeting if there's an issue that we know they're discussing that on such and such a date, like the mortgage registration
Mhm.
fee. But you'll have KAC come in that night and, have a walkthrough supper that they'll have all the legislators and
Mhm.
commissioners there. I mean, it's all right, there's nothing wrong with that, but
Well, it doesn't start until 2:30 or 3:30 in the afternoon, and then it's that one session. So,
we could,
I mean, we're done by,
we could split it up and, you know, I would rather be open to going to an individual one, but it might be good to have somebody there from our group too. I mean,
Well, we'll just see.
Huh?
I nominate Clay.
No, we're not gonna nominate anybody, it's just,
I think it's a unanimous
We got a little
resolution.
testy. Okay, on the mileage issue / county card issue,
Yes.
I did some checking and we paid out $3,320 in mileage last year.
How many miles did it was put on the car last year?
You didn't ask me
we'll
to
divide that by
find
48.
out.
Now we'll give you the mileage.
No, this is
that's
on what
mileage
you
we
pay
paid out.
individuals.
Oh.
I hate to see you get rid of that county car, just because I know.
Well, do we need to send it somewhere to get some major repairs done to it? Do we need?
Bill says there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, I know.
I don't know, would it be worth it sending it, like you
Bill.
said?
Just to get service or checked and,
I don't
Maybe
know,
it's right.
I can't remember who took it
I mean,
last.
I can't believe one
They
car
didn't have
has
any
that many
problems
issues
with
that
it,
nobody wants to drive it.
but I don't know.
It's just more like they don't like the car.
Yeah.
Not-
It's an old.
So,
We might be able to get
You might check with the forestry department, say, here's
Here's
the
the
cars.
so
First we'd
I
have to
think
expand
that,
the garage for the single section of
and
feet.
your mileage rate is at 48 cents, is that
Yes.
They would,
still?
Yes.
Okay,
Wouldn't that
We'll
be
just
like
forget
talking
that.
to
I
me
do have
if we showed
another
up in the 6x6?
resolution we need to pass.
With the cloth top.
Yeah. I thought we did a mileage resolution last.
No,
No,
if
we
you don't
talked
change it, you don't
Oh.
We don't do anything, just leave it as it is.
do. There we go. Just a minute, have any electronic issues? No.
Well, while you're doing that, Stafford County got 2 articles of notoriety
Oh, really? Where at?
in the Hutch paper. The high tunnels,
Okay, I did. see
yesterday's
Oh,
paper.
yeah.
And then Dan Denning, he's thinking Reno County's going back in the dark ages because they're not doing the commercial vehicle registrations.
Oh,
Yeah, I
so
saw
does
that.
Barton, I heard something talk about
And,
on Barton County radio, but they didn't mention that Stafford County
So
did
they-
do IRP.
Are there really 40 counties that do IRPs?
I don't think there's that many. Is there?
Well, somebody said that's what I didn't read the article, but they said the Hutch paper said there was 40. I didn't
No,
think there was
Lisa
that
told us there wasn't. There was
Like
only like
20.
six.
There's not very many.
They're not even 20.
Out,
I thought she-
western Kansas, they're pretty spread out. I think they're a little more abundant than eastern.
I thought there was only like 8.
Somebody told me that article said 40, and I said 2.
8
That's
little
not right.
zones, I thought. Lisa showed us that one time.
There's not very
20.
I'll have to look that up.
many.
And then,
Cleveland Township is requesting minimum maintenance on a stretch of road.
Where?
Oh, I do, yeah, I got the map. Joe Cornwell came in, here's on the map, he's marked it right there in the green. He said he's talked to all the landowners, they're all in agreement.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal. right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. So, for you 2 new ones, well, you're not new anymore, you're a year old. There's a process we have to go through. They have to request this, you guys have to pass a resolution. We have to publish that resolution, there's a notice that has to be published, and then there'll be a hearing. I think I set it for February 12th, here in meeting, you recess for the hearing, and then there's another resolution you sign declaring it as an maintenance road.
And they in turn have to sign.
Yes, this is the first step
Okay.
in
that's right by Jeff's house.
doing.
Well, yeah, it's a big sandy hill.
I don't know, I've never been on that. Well, I
Cornell's
probably
had
haven't,
a,
but-
Cornell's had a pivot here. And Bob Standish
Yeah.
has this that section. But this is a good road,
Yeah.
and this is blacktop. This is a good road.
Well, you would think that there was somebody in there to be Jeff or Jim.
Yeah, and we're, yeah, because they have that, this quarter, they call me and call it. Oh, they have this whole, no, wait a minute. Oh, this is Jimmy Fox.
And he's talked to all of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is Judy Fox, and this is Judy Fox, this
Yeah.
one, this one.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution 2014-6, which is the resolution of certain Rose Valley Township Road as a minimum maintenance road.
Cleveland Township, isn't it?
What-
Rose Valley.
Oh,
That's
sorry, it's
Cleveland.
Cleveland. I'll fix that. Don't sign that one.
We did it.
I'll amend that motion.
Until next week.
Just a minute.
To amend it to
Give me a minute.
read Cleveland Township.
There it is, right there, Cleveland.
That's not the only, you got legal right, that's it.
Yes. Northwest 70th Avenue. You can go ahead and approve it, and I'll just get this in print.
Kind of risky, but we'll do
It's
that.
pretty risky, we don't know what you're printing.
I would entertain a motion.
I did.
There's a motion on the
I'll second
I
that
amended the
motion for Cleveland Township.
table. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion, or a resolution,
2014, sir.
2014-6 to make a minimum maintenance road request in Cleveland Township. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no.
And I really would think one of you needs to be at the contractors meeting. She's making me go, so only you need to.
I have to go to the hospital board meeting on the 20th, so.
The meeting's the 24th.
I will try to be there.
And
I'm just saying my schedule. 24,
And we are closed the 20th.
yes.
County offices are closed.
Well, we're talking about the 20th.
So you will be here on the 24th. Okay.
Everything.
Okay. Let me go get that.